Hey to everyone out there watching, it's JT from Keystone Crew Outdoors. Welcome back to Keystone Crew's Fantasy Fishing Pick Show. Coming up, we've got results from our last event at Toledo Bend, our picks for Lake Fork, and our group leaderboards. To those of you who like and subscribe to the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It's greatly appreciated. It means so much to me to see the channel and the group grow. If you've been with us from the beginning, you know this all started from a friend betting me I would never do it. No one would watch it if I did, and saying fantasy fishing is a joke. I ended up starting this channel, and I enjoy doing it. If I could get 1% better each time I make a video on here and continue to connect with you all, I'm happy with that. Now, to those of you who haven't liked and subscribed, feel free to do so now, especially if you like the advice I give on here. I don't know what you're waiting for. If I wasn't on this channel, I'd be liking and subscribing into it right now. Also, if you haven't signed up for fantasy fishing yet, but want to check it out, you can sign up at bassmasterfantasy.com. It's completely free, and it's a lot of fun. After signing up, search the Groups tab for Keystone Crew and join our group. I know you'll enjoy it. It makes watching on Saturdays and Sundays on Fox Sports 1 so much more fun. Or aggravating if you had a terrible first tournament like I did. Let's hope you didn't all go with just my picks and you took my advice and followed the crew's research picks. Here's a quick look at our group leaderboards for Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing. And for Falcon Rod's Bassmaster Drain the Lake Challenge. If you had a perfect roster, here's what that would have looked like. I don't think too many people had perfect rosters, if anybody had a perfect roster at all. If you went with our picks, but not necessarily our top-ranked guys, here's how they finished. Okay, so for Bucket A, here's how our power rankings finished. For Bucket B, here's how our power rankings finished. Bucket C, this is how our power rankings finished. Bucket D, this is how our guys finished. And finally, Bucket E, this is how they finished. If you went with the Keystone Crew picks, here's what that looked like. If you went with our top-ranked guy in each bucket. And I hope you didn't, but if you went with the guys that I picked, if you went with JT's picks, this is how you finished. And lastly, here's how the crew's Drain the Lake finished. Now that we've recapped all of the results from our first event at Toledo Bend, let's jump into the second event of the Elite season. A quick turnaround here to go to Lake Fork from Yantis, Texas, from February 29th through March 3rd, 2024. Lake Fork's a reservoir located in Wood, Rains, and Hopkins counties in Texas between the towns of Quitman, Alba, Emory, and Yantis. It's a tributary of the Sabine River. Lake Fork covers a surface area of 27,264 acres, or an area of 43.27 miles, and has a shoreline of 315 miles. The max depth is 70 feet. Officially, it serves as a reservoir for Dallas and its suburbs, but it's known for its fishing. 15 of the top 20 Texas state largemouth records ever caught came out of Lake Fork, making it a premier trophy bass fishing lake. Most common species of fish here are the largemouth bass, white bass, and channel catfish. Once again, we're only looking at those largemouths though. On to our picks for the Elite Series stop at Lake Fork. Here's our research picks. Once again, I power rank these from the Bass Pundits, different articles I read, and videos I watch online. And here's how they go. Our power rankings for Bucket A. We've got Patrick Walters, currently owned by 24.2% of you guys out there. Followed by Koya Fujita, owned by 13.6% of you guys out there. Then I have Chris Zaldain, 7.2% owned. Ben Milliken, everybody's still riding the Ben train here, 34.5% owned there. And finally, Jordan Lee with 6.9% owned. My pick is Chris Zaldain, 7.2% owned. He likes throwing those big swim baits, and I think that's going to be very much in play here. The crew's pick, though, is Patrick Walters with 24.2% 4.2% ownership there. On to bucket B. I've got Kyle Patrick is the top-ranked guy with 4.3% owned, followed by Cody Huff with 4.7% owned, JT Thompkins, 8.2% owned, Derek Hudnall, 4.3% owned, and Jay Shakur at 8.4% owned. My pick, though, I'm going with JT Thompkins with that 8.2% owned, and the cruise pick is Kyle Patrick, 4.3% owned. On to bucket C. I've got top-ranked angler, and pretty much everybody's going with them, and I have mixed feelings about this. Lee Livesay has 68.6% owned, followed by Matt Robertson with 1.8% owned. I'm representing right now wearing his jersey, and I'm really contemplating changing my pick and going with Matt Robertson, but I really don't know. It's hard to go against Lee's success here. My third-ranked angler is Brandon Polinick with 11.3% owned. Then I have Kenta Kimura, 1.9%, followed by John Cox with 3.6% owned. My pick, though, Lee Livesay, 68.6. I know I'm going to lose sleep over it. Maybe I'll end up changing to Matt Robertson if I do. The cruise pick, though, is also going to be Lee Livesay. It's hard to go against almost 70% of the people out there, and he's had success there, so it's a safe pick, I think. Bucket D, for top-ranked angler, I have John Garrett, 4.2% owned. Followed by, even though he let me down this past tournament, Joey Cifuentes with 27.1% owned. And talking about letting down, my third-ranked angler, Scott Martin with 4.5% owned. I really thought he was going to, step it up and win a tournament here. Followed by Cliff Perch, 0.5%, and Jason Christie, 17.7% owned. My pick, though, I'm going with Jason Christie, 17.7% owned. The cruise pick, though, is that John Garrett at 4.2% owned. On to bucket E. I've got Chad Pipkens, 3.9% owned. Followed by our reigning angler of the year, didn't do so hot, that's why we're in bucket E, Kyle Welcher, 24.7% owned. Brandon Cobb stumbled, he's in bucket E, 29.3% owned. Greg Hackney, 19.9% owned. And Bryant Smith, 0.7% owned. These guys are absolute hammers in here. You're never going to get the chance to really pick them in bucket E again, so take advantage of it. My pick, though, and the cruise pick is going to be Chad Pipkens at 3.9% owned. Tie-breaking weight. I think we're going to see multiple anglers go over the century mark here. I'm going actually higher. I'm going 112 pounds, 13 ounces. I'm hoping that they catch them. I know they grow them big here. Everything's bigger in Texas, right? All right, a quick recap. My picks, the guys I'm going with. Bucket A, Chris Zaldain. Bucket B, JT Thompkins. Bucket C, Lee Livesay. Maybe Matt Robertson. I don't know. Jason Christie for bucket D. Bucket E, Chad Pipkens. And the research picks, if you go with the top-ranked guy that I have power ranked here, we got bucket A, Patrick Walters. Bucket B, Kyle Patrick. Bucket C, Lee Livesay. Bucket D, John Garrett. And bucket E, Chad Pipkens. On the Falcon Rods Drain the Lake Challenge. Lastly, here's the picks for Drain the Lake. It's an elimination or survivor style game where you can only use an angler once all season. Once you use them, they're gone for the season, so pick wisely. You might want to start mapping that out when we start heading north. Maybe you want to save some guys for Florida. But here's who I got. I'm going with Cody Huff, Lee Livesay, Chad Pipkens, Matt Robertson, Pat Schlapper, JT Thompkins, Matty Wong, and Chris Zaldain. Good luck to everybody out there. Sorry I'm getting the video up a little bit later than I'd like. I'd like to get them out on Mondays, but with these quick turnarounds and working full time and everything like that, it's a little bit tougher to get the research done and, edit and put this all together for you guys. Stay tuned for our results, and I'll catch you next time.